Drivers, stake boat holders, our Worcester Police, Shrewsbury Police, environmental police, volunteers on the gate. It's been yeoman service in less than ideal conditions. And we have a start in this first race for this afternoon. Boston College B and the University of Rochester, men's open 4. The two boats are off the starting line. Referee's boat has fallen in behind them, and they're on their way down the course. It appears we may have a slight technical issue with the chase launch at the beginning this afternoon. So if that's the case, we'll follow this race from the porch as far as we can. And then hopefully Linda can pick this race up near the finish line once it gets out of our range. In the early going, the two boats are relatively even. Rochester in the yellow boat on this side of the race course, and Boston College in the gray boat with the red maroon tops on the far side. At 400 meters, the two crews are exactly even with one another. Both crews seem to be rowing in a controlled fashion. And now it looks like Rochester's trying to take a little move here to put the scare into Boston College early and maybe gain control of this race and dictate the latter part. At 450, 460 meters, it is now Rochester by a half length on BC. BC attempting to counter, and it looks like we're going to be able to turn this race over to Anna Lindgren Stryker in the launch after all. We'll fade out to black here, and they'll pick the race up with Rochester up by a length at 500 meters.
Head two-boat Petite final to start off our afternoon. Conditions on the water are still flat. No worry about waves to speak of, but definitely chilly, and the rain has continued to come down hard. So through these conditions, Rochester is continuing to extend their lead stroke by stroke over BC's second 4 here. So they'll look to continue to press their advantage as we move through the second 500. So these boats came through the heats this morning and each finished 4th in their heat to advance to the Petite final this afternoon, and now are duking it out in our first race of the afternoon. So Rochester, bit by bit, extending out their lead here. There haven't been any dramatic moves, but since about 400 meters in, Rochester has just continued to press away in this race. And that looks to be the state of things as we head towards the 1,000. Rochester has about a length of open water now on BC's second 4, and we are just crossing through the 1,000 here for Rochester. And they continue to work their advantage here with BC crossing through the 1,000 here. So we'll continue to follow this race along. Rochester keeps working out, and they're about out to 2 lengths now. So they really want to try to secure that 7th place overall finish in this Open 4 event, and really try to put this BC boat behind them to not allow for a sprint or any unexpected surprises later in the race. So they've got some teammates on shore cheering for them now to give them a little boost in this third 500. Really trying to keep keep extending out, which they're successfully doing, just continuing to take advantage of that slightly higher boat speed to just press out their advantage as they go through here. So again, no dramatic changes, but that's where we'll hand it over to Linda at the finish line.
And here we've got Rochester with a good length lead over Boston College B. Boston College B is the second entry for Boston College in this event. Their A boat is in the grand final. Rochester and Boston College both advanced to this race by finishing fourth in the heats earlier this morning. And the crews are just rowing out, trying to go a nice, strong, steady pace here. And usually the crews that are in the Petite final are trying to go for time so that they can compare their results to the crews that are racing in the grand final right after them. And the conditions seem to be very, very steady this afternoon. Unfortunately, the rain is steady as well, and it's a bit chilly out there. But you can see the crews just rowing along, and Rochester is just taking stroke after stroke, trying to push away a little bit more each stroke from Boston College B entry. These crews raced this morning, and the second effort is always a bit of a challenge. And having just two boats in the race makes it feel a little bit more like a regular season race than a champion season race. But these crews are doing a great job. Rochester working on just moving out, trying to get a bigger lead if they can on Boston College. And you know that Boston College is really trying to just dig back in, try to close that margin down a little bit. With the coxswains in the bow, the Boston College B coxswain can easily see the Rochester crew. And in the Rochester boat, the coxswain can't see the Boston College boat, but the oarsman certainly can. And here they come. They're in the final 250 meters of the race. And whether it's just one boat or two boats or six boats, this is when the crews are going to be sprinting, trying to get the best time that they can possible. And you can see Rochester lifting the rate here as they come through, coming into their last 10 strokes. And we've got Boston College. Also, the striking has become a little more intensity, a little higher rate. And we've got about 5 or 6 strokes left for Rochester to go through, and they will finish 7th overall in the men's Open 4. And we have Rochester crossing the line now, and it will be shortly followed by Boston College B. Boston College B taking their hard strokes. The coxswain is urging them on, lifting the rate, trying to get this last little bit of speed out, end of the season for these crews, and really looking to do a great job getting across the finish line. And now we will turn it back over to Gary Caldwell at the start.